I mean, one of the things that people I've had many guys ask me before, like, why do you so insist on exercise? It's a big one. Like, do you really think it helps you? I'm like, I know it helps me. I don't want. It's like jerking off, but for the body.
Right.
Like, instead of this thing that you get when you jerk off, this relief from the need for sex.
Yeah.
There's unnoticed tension that's constantly in your body that flavors the way you think about things. It really just does.
Yes.
Last night, my daughter was upset at something. She got into a little tiff with one of her friends. Super upset, and really, she thought her friend was being mean and just didn't, trying to deal with it. We went to the garage, and I said, let's just go, we'll work out, you'll feel better. And I put the pads on, and we started moving around, started throwing some kicks and punches, started breaking a sweat, really getting into it. Pop, pop, whap, pop, pop, whap, and getting in, woo, this is fun. And then laughing and joking around, and then we talked about it. Because I'm like, now you can talk about it rationally. Because now it's not fucking with you till you have this energy that's just pent up.
Yeah.
You got to let that energy out, and then you're left with the thoughts.
Right.
But too many people get stuck with the energy and the thought.
Yeah,
and the energy's overwhelming the thought. And it's like, all this fucking emotion and all this craziness.
Yeah.
And I run around the block, or fucking hitting the heavy bag, or hitting the pads, or skip some rope, or whatever you're into. Take a yoga class, whatever you're into. Drain the stress out of the body, and then look at the object or the idea for what it is. And this is a fucking important method of managing the way you think about things that people overlook. They overlook the impact of physical tension on the body in your decision-making process.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Do you believe that trauma is stored in the body? You think that's bullshit?
I don't know. I mean, I know that trauma is something that clings inside your subconsciousness. Your subconsciousness is a part of your consciousness. Your consciousness supposedly resides in your body. So why wouldn't it be in your body somehow, way, shape, or form?
Right.
And then, there's also the idea that there's parts of your body that retain memory, not just your brain, but there's neurons in your body, and perhaps they retain memory.
Right.
Like, there's the concept that there's some type of neuron in the heart. Right?
Yes.
And this is what a lot of people believe was responsible for this idea of, like, follow your heart. Follow your heart. Maybe if those are your memories and your database of collective emotional ideas, if there's really something to that, and like maybe it's not just in the brain area, but also in the heart area and in all the neurons, maybe we just think because our consciousness resides in the brain that all of our memories reside there as well, and that they're not in various areas of our body.
Right.
Yeah, people that get transplants, man, one of the weird things that they say is they find that they have cravings for things that the person who donated the organ had.
Right.
I don't know if that's real or not, because obviously I've never gone through a transplant, but
I've heard that shit a lot, man.
I've heard that too.
And someone was explaining it to me like, well, like, oh God, here comes fucking bro scientist Trussel. Get ready, gang. Here we go.
I'm ready.
Dr. Trussel. I've got a fucking master's degree in bro science. But,
do you?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Hey, are you working tonight? You doing anything
What's
tonight?
that? Yeah, dude, I
got a
am.
gig?
Yeah,
Okay.
why? What's going on?
Ice House?
I can't do it.
That's okay.
Dude, thank you so much, though.
Anytime.
I was just thinking, right before I do my bro science thing, man, your daughter's fucking lucky. God damn. Your dad's like, let's go to the gym in the house and fucking kickbox. You're upset. That's super cool, man. I was just thinking that. The other thing...
Well, it's only cool if they like it. The thing is, she likes to do it. This is one thing that I think is extremely important, because I see people that like get their son to play football because they played football and the kid doesn't want to play fucking football.
Yeah.
Man, you got to let your kids be who they are. They get super resentful.
Right.
I've seen people raise their kids and try to force their kids into holes. You got to support them and love them and let them find their path.
Yeah,
you have
man.
to. You have to let them find their path. You can't decide they're going to be a doctor or decide they're going to be a lawyer or decide they're going to be whatever the fuck you want them to be. They got to be what they are. We're all so different, and you are literally robbing a kid of their future if you over-influence their choice making in terms of like of not following their passion or their dream or their ideas.
Yeah.
You and it can be done. And to say that it can't be done is so many people can't do it. So many people don't get their doctorate.
Right.
So many people don't ever become scientists or astronauts or fucking mathematicians. A lot of things are hard to do, man.
Right.
A lot of things.
Right.
But you can't decide the way that kid's brain works. You're not in there.
Right.
You're not in there. And it's different than yours.
Right.
And hers is different than his.
Right.
And this brother is different than this sister. And the mom's different than all of them. And you got to let people be. You got to let them be.
Yeah.
You have to. And people don't. And those fucking people hate their parents. Those people develop this fucking resentment because there's no freedom. Their fucking mom is always on them. Mom, I don't want to do that. Will you just stop? I raised you. I didn't raise you to talk to me like this. You're my son. I don't want you being a loser. Do you get it? Do you understand it? You're like, I don't want to be a doctor.
Yeah.
And I'm so disappointed in you. I know friends where their parents don't talk to them anymore because they changed majors.
Whoa.
Yeah, they changed majors. The dad stopped talking to him.
What?
Yeah. Decide, you don't want to take on the company business? You don't want to take on the company. The idea was we were going to send you to go to school and you were going to take over the company business.
Yeah,
I
man.
want to be in a band. You fucking loser.
Some people have a really it's like we got to be so much kinder to people. When you just thinking shit like that helps you understand how people are. Like you run into just about anybody, man, and it's like so easy to have someone in your life and enjoy the idea that they're an asshole and they deserve it. But if you spend just a speck of time thinking about it, it's like it sucks. In a weird way, it sucks.
Well, just wait until you have kids.
Well,
then it gets really, really interesting because you start looking at people like they used to be babies. That's what happened to me.
I got a baby boy coming, man.
I know you do.
This is the first place I've said it.
Holy shit.
But like I talked
Duncan's
to my wife.
Be a daddy.
She said it's okay. You can when you're in the early months, you I don't know why, but like
people are scared. It's such a sacred thing. And it's a vulnerable thing to talk about. It makes you feel vulnerable. It makes you feel nervous, and because of that energy, you're worried about talking about it.
I fucking love it, dude. It is the most transformative. Like you hear all the time, to the point where I was like suspicious of it. Like I was like, I don't. Stanhope has done this joke for a while, so I think I'm allowed to say it. Should I not even? What's the rule?
Yeah. He doesn't do any of his old stuff.
He's got some of my favorite jokes of all time, many of them. But he's got this killer fucking joke about how like pregnant people are like heroin addicts. They're like, just try it, you'll love it. Just try it. and then when you do it, like you're stuck, you're trapped, which is how I used to think. But man, it's like so humbling to realize that all the shit you heard was true. In the sense that you hear people say, oh no, it's psychedelic. It's psychedelic. Now, I always associated that with like when the baby's born, there must be some serotonin or dopamine that gets released, not just in the woman. We know the woman's brain is flooded with oxytocin and a variety of things, the bonding chemicals. But, I thought, well, that clearly would happen for the father, maybe just not in the same level. So when people say it's psychedelic, that must be what they mean. But now I know, the birth hasn't happened yet, but just being in the presence of a person who's growing a life inside of their belly and realizing that like the bonding that's happening there and like the sacred duty is coming up of you being a father and that a soul is coming into this dimension that is going to be completely dependent on you. And my wife, of course, wanting to keep her safe. And then, man, the combination of all these things is so incredibly psychedelic in the most beautiful way and so humbling because it's like, boy, oh boy, did I fucking tell myself that I'd figured out something really smart. And that was like, reproduction is a trick of the DNA, and this marriage thing and the baby thing is some kind of vestigial societal organ like the appendix. We don't need to do that. There's nothing to it. Obviously, I wasn't using that voice, but It was such a pretentious, fucking pompous, ridiculous place that I was standing at, which is to judge people for reproducing, having enjoying the ability to judge because my parents reproduced. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.